Good morning, everybody. It is 8:15, and that is that your latest video, David Usher?
That's not the latest video, that's a video, yes.
That's a video, there we go. His latest CD is called Songs from the Last Day on Earth, and it comes out this Tuesday, October the 2nd. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
I want to start out by asking you about the title, Songs from the Last Day on Earth. Where did that come from?
Are you a man?
What's that? No. No. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about, there's a lot of chaos in the world, and myself and I have this crazy group of friends in Montreal, and it's myself and my friends and my family, and I've been imagining sort of the last moments of the world and what we would be thinking about. And all the album is about all the memories that would rush back from your life and all the images of the important moments coming back in sort of an instant, like a film in rewind.
You talk about your friends in Montreal. I know that you wrote most of the album with some friends.
I did.
And it took about a year, right?
It took a year and a half to write, yeah.
Now, is that a process that's mostly painful and then at the end joyful, or how does it work?
You know, it's like the creative process is always very similar. It's part joy and part just incredibly excruciating. There are moments when it's, you think you've discovered something incredible, and those days are amazing. And then there are other times when it's just like you have no idea what you're doing, and you're just, diving into the depths.
What is it literally like? Are you in a studio? Are you in a living room? Where are you guys?
It's a mix. I write at home a lot,
Yeah.
so my friends will come over and we'll write together.
Right.
So my writing process for me is, writing with kids running back and forth screaming in the background.
With someone at a keyboard or another person on a guitar?
Yeah,
You just
it's my friends all hanging out together playing in my place, and it's part of my family life is
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
it's intermixed with
Wow.
children and cooking and
Interesting.
coffee and
Interesting
scotch.
that you could get anything coherent that would come out of that.
Well, that's, you want, for me, I want my creative process to be part of my life. Mm-hmm. And the people I play with are uncles to my kids. They're part of our family. So that's how I want to do it.
And how old are your kids?
My kids are 4 and 9.
Do they know what you're doing? That you're making songs? And
Yeah,
you're
they
making
do.
Music?
They do for sure. It's very much part of our lives. My wife is an actor and has a theater company as a photographer. And so we have this massive extended family of artists that are always around and hanging out. And for our kids, it's just part of it's normal for them. They've always grown up with it.
I was reading here that it says you've also developed social media software that's being used by the Canucks. Is that right?
I was working with a real-time social media aggregation company, and we developed software. I'm really into startups and technology. And the most recent thing I'm working on is a site for Amnesty International called artistsforamnesty.com,
Right.
where artists are donating songs, and people can download the songs for free in exchange for signing up to Amnesty International. So I'm a big supporter of Amnesty and combining my love of technology with Amnesty and music.
Wow, that seems like two different sides of the brain.
I consider it to be sort of the same side of the brain in that, I love ideas, and I consider my job as an artist to be the exploration of ideas.
Right.
And speaking of that, your album is, as you called, Songs from the Last Day of Earth. What did you imagine for your last day on Earth?
It's for me. I'm very lucky because I have this image from the album, which is myself and my friends, which we do this thing where in the middle of the summer, we'll all get in our bicycles and we'll ride through the city of Montreal. And we'll just spend the night riding from place to place, sometimes bar to bar. But it's a very childlike experience, but it really brings you back to a place that most of us, or many of us, have forgotten, that experience of not being in a car, not being with your work, not with your job or your bills, but the freedom of just exploring in the middle of the night and those kind of things. That's one of my favorite memories.
That's so interesting, the way that that's such a conscious way of living. Standing back and saying, I need to make sure I continue to include this in my life as an adult, as a parent, all those sorts of things.
I think a lot of being connected to creativity is being connected to the ability to connect to the child that lives within you. But as adults, we have to continually fight to find that freedom, because there's so many, just texting and pinging and DMing clutters our brains. It's so hard to reconnect with that freedom that gives us the ability to express ourselves.
Hey, can I ask you, we've been asking our audience all morning what their favorite read is for the weekend, if they're recommending a book. Are you reading something you like right now?
I'm reading a book called Imagine, and it's a book on creativity, actually. And the author actually was just has been called out for plagiarism.
It's the New York, was he New York Times?
New
or-
Yorker.
The New Yorker.
believe,
For that
yeah.
book
Right.
itself?
Yes, for making up quotes by Bob Dylan. I mean, it's still a great read, though. It's a mixture of science and creativity and how the brain works and where creativity comes from in the brain.
And you can't never really shut it off, can you? I mean, it's always there. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. If you're a creative person, that's just essential to who you are. Or are you actually able to go somewhere and just kind of be neutral on that?
I'm generally thinking about ideas. I have a lot of projects on the go, so I'm always trying to find a different angle to look at a project from,
Yeah.
and look at how what other way could I look at this problem that I'm working on at the moment that would make it more interesting to me and solve it.
You never
always-
find that exhausting.
I love it. Like it's like a puzzle for me.
Probably who you are.
Yeah, but I think all people are. I think all people are creative. It's just whether they've recently connected to that or not.
But it's neat when artists say that they feel that is their job, to explore ideas. Did you ever go through a part of in your life when people, or maybe your parents, saying that's not a real job?
Well, it's definitely.
Do something else.
At the very beginning, I mean, I'm lucky. My dad's an economist who writes books, lots of books and lectures all the time, and my mom's a Chinese brush painter. So there's always been a thread of creativity throughout my life and my family.
So you find your father, as an economist, has a creative bent.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, because I mean, it's just as creative to give a lecture on microeconomics or write a book on that or papers as it is to write a song or to paint a painting. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just a different angle on it for me.
Well, thanks for coming in this morning. Great talking to you. David Usher, the new CD is called Songs from the Last Day on Earth, and it comes out this Tuesday, October the 2nd. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
8:21, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
We ride our bicycles for the last time, uncork the wine and raise our glasses high in the sky. Unraveling begins.